next year.
I saw some of your colleagues after the Loper-Bright decision came out. They were freaking out and saying, you don't understand. We haven't been getting into the nitty-gritty of what the laws are for a very long time. We defer to these experts in the bureaucracy to handle everything. First of all, I love the faith that Democrat senators have in the experts in the bureaucracy, something not shared by many Americans. But it was just kind of funny to watch them say, no, we don't want to do our jobs here. We've been not doing our jobs for a very long period of time. So this would help them actually do their jobs.
Exactly. It's the new idolatry. And this, by the way, is the secret to Trump's sauce. This is the secret to why Trump has been successful. It's also the secret to why we need Trump so much today, and the secret to why they're doing everything they can, why they tried to imprison him, why somebody tried to kill him, why they're pushing back as hard as they could. Look, Donald Trump is an anomaly, to say the least. He's an enigma, especially to the left. He came along as someone who entered the scene at the top level, ran for president, was elected president, from completely outside of the political universe. The only modern president you can think of who fits that description. He came along and identified a whole bunch of problems with government, problems that he had had no role in creating, unlike pretty much anybody else in the political system. And so when that happened, and he showed up with all this moral courage and clarity, they rebelled against him. They said, we cannot have this. We cannot have it. Now, the other side does everything they can. This also explains the lawfare. They do everything they can to denigrate that, to demonize it, because the left, remember, believes that, first of all, they are the rule of law. When they talk about the rule of law, they don't think about it in terms of it's all better if we follow the law, even if we disagree with it. For the left, the progressive is the law, so whatever the law is in their mind the rule of law. They will then denigrate and demonize anyone who comes along who pushes back on that, who challenges those assumptions. Anyone who is against them and their policy agenda is against the rule of law. By the same token, any Supreme Court justice who refuses to recuse from a case where they don't think they will like the ruling, they will push back on them and try to demean their credibility, pushing so far as even to delegitimize the court as a whole, so that they can pack the Supreme Court and change its composition. At the end of the day, these guys bastardize the concept of the rule of law to the point that it's really aggressive. It's kind of a fascist approach to governance. But that's why they're pushing back so hard against Donald Trump. And by the way, it also ties into the administrative state. One of my first reactions after I got the news the other night, and I commented this evening on it, is that things like this would not happen. We wouldn't have violence erupt, violent protests and rallies as often as we do surrounding presidential elections if we didn't put so many eggs in that basket. If we hadn't made the federal government far more powerful than it was ever intended to be, and if we hadn't made the presidency itself more powerful than it was ever intended to be.
And I think that is the hatred against Trump